Hello there and welcome. Today we're going to get into the secret sauce of telling a really great story in English. And that is, of course, narrative tenses. These are the tools that take a simple list of things that happened and turn it into a story that feels alive, a story that breathes. So let's dive in and see how they work. Just listen to this. I was walking home when I noticed a wallet. I realized someone had dropped it. It feels real, doesn't it? That's because you've got different tenses all working together as a team. Was walking, that sets the scene. Noticed, that's the big moment, the main event. And had dropped, that gives us the backstory. Understanding how all these parts connect is exactly what we're going to master today.
Now, for so many of you, this is the big question, isn't it? Because as you know, one of the main tasks in the FCE writing paper is to write a story. So think of this as your training session. I'm going to give you the exact grammatical toolkit you need to go in there and write something absolutely brilliant.
And look, let's be totally upfront about this. Using these tenses well isn't just about being a good storyteller, it's about getting top marks. Seriously, the examiners are specifically looking to see if you can use this range of tenses, so mastering this is your direct path to a higher score. It's that important.
Right then, first up, let's talk about the foundation of any story, the absolute backbone of your plot, and that is the past simple.
The easiest way to think about the past simple is to see it as your main event line. These are the key actions. Each one is finished, and it pushes the story forward to the next point. It's the what happened next tense, moving your story along one completed step at a time.
And you can see that forward movement perfectly right here. Heard, turned, ran, boom, boom, boom. One finished action straight after the other. This clean sequence of events, well, that's the very skeleton of your narrative.
But a skeleton on its own isn't a full story, is it? We need to add some flesh to those bones. We need atmosphere, we need background, and for that, we need our next tool, the past continuous.
The past continuous is basically your story's background camera. It's not the main event, it's what was happening when the main events took place. It's what you use to paint the picture and create the world your story lives in. Ah, here it is, the classic combination. I was walking home. That's the long background action. It's setting the scene. Then, bang, a car stops suddenly. That's the short, sharp, finished past simple action that interrupts it. See how they work together? It's perfect.
This visual just shows that relationship perfectly, doesn't it? That long bar, that's the past continuous action, was walking, stretching out over time. And that sharp point that cuts right into it, that's your past simple event, stopped. That's the dynamic you really want to create.
Okay, so we've got a timeline and we've got a background. But what if we need to jump back in time to explain something that happened even earlier? Well, for that, we need to add some depth with the past perfect.
Honestly, this is your story's time machine. It's the tense that lets you break free from a strict A, then B, then C order. Anytime you're telling a story in the past and you need to say, oh, but before all of this happened, that's when you reach for the past perfect. It's absolutely essential for explaining why things are the way they are.
Here's a brilliant, clear-cut example. Okay, let's think. Which action happened first in real time? The train leaving, right? That's why it's in the past perfect, had already left. My arrival, which happened second, is in the simple past.
And this timeline just makes it crystal clear. The event in the past perfect, the train had left, always sits earlier on the timeline than the event in the past simple. It really is as simple as that.
Right, now for a couple of what I like to call bonus tools. If you want to give your characters a real history and talk about how things were in the past over a long period, we have some special phrases for that.
Now, you really need to notice the key difference here, because it's a common mistake. Used to is really flexible. It works for past states, things like be shy or live in Milan, and it also works for repeated actions. But would, and this is the important bit, is for repeated actions only. You can't say she would be shy. That's a crucial rule to remember for that exam.
And here's one more for the advanced toolkit. If you want to emphasize not just that something happened earlier, but that it was going on for a long time, or that it had a direct result you can now see, you can use the past perfect continuous.
This example shows that cause and effect so clearly. Why were his hands dirty? Well, because of the long action that happened before. He had been fixing the car. The focus here is all on the duration of that action and its obvious visible result.
So, we've gathered all of our tools. We've got the past simple, the continuous, the perfect, the whole shebang. Now, let's put them all together into a final blueprint you can use to build a fantastic story for your FCE exam.
Let's just see how these layers all work together in a little mini story. Okay, first we set the scene. The sun was shining. Then the main event. I got in my car. Right, now for the backstory. Why is the ground wet? It had been raining all morning. That's the cause, the duration. And what was the result of that earlier action? My washing had got wet. See, all those layers create a complete, rich picture.
So here you go, your actionable plan. It's a 4-step recipe. Step 1, build your main plot points with the past simple. Then, step 2, layer on the background atmosphere with the past continuous. Step 3, add depth and explanation with the past perfect. And finally, step 4, sprinkle in those extra details about past habits with used to or would.
And there you have it. You've got the blueprint, you've got the tools, you know how the layers work together to create a story that's not just a list of events, but something compelling and grammatically sophisticated. The only thing left to do is to start using them. So the real question is, what story will you tell?